Sarah Friar is a bad sister. And I mean sister, S-I-S-T-A. She's from, she has lineage from Ireland, right?
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
Yep, different country.
So she knows hoods.
Yeah.
You guys are a tough audience. Y'all know there's problems in Northern Ireland.
We've gotten through them, but yeah.
Well, you're getting through
Hood
them.
for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And Sarah goes back often, but her family, her history, she's part of the solution there. And I think that my sense is that your compassion and empathy for people who are invisible, and we've never had this conversation, but my guess is it comes from the fact that you saw people in Northern Ireland who were invisible, didn't have a voice. Before I get to that and you, let me just say a couple things. Sarah's probably one of the 100 most influential women in business in America. Just pull up her name. She's on every list. Don't trust me. Yeah, she's on every list. She was at major investment houses. She was a senior executive with Mark at Salesforce, Mark meaning the founder, Benioff. She was the chief financial officer at Square for Jack Dorsey, who created Square and Twitter. A billionaire, brilliant, and of course she's now CEO of Nextdoor. But let me peel that back for a minute. When I needed to get to Jack Dorsey to come to speak at the Hope Global Forum, I went to Sarah. And actually, no, I sent Jack Dorsey a note, which I'm sure he would have ignored, but I blind copied Sarah.
That's a John move.
Yes, I ain't playing. And Sarah called me. She picked up the phone and called me. And she said, I see you're trying to connect to Jack. Did he respond to you? Not yet. Let me call him. Let me call him. She calls back and says, when do you want him to speak? Tomorrow.
Also a John move.
Yeah, we're doing a special event just for him. Here's the dates. She says, I'm gonna call you back. She calls back and says, well, he's gonna be in New York. He's gotta do something in New York, but he thinks he might be able to swing back through Atlanta. Give me those dates again. What's the exact time? She's like my broker. So she goes back and she cuts this deal between me and Jack Dorsey. And yes, Jack Dorsey, the history book shows, he came here, he took the stage, he spoke, he took a tour of the community, went to Rice to visit the Entrepreneurship Academy there, and all this stuff. But none of that would have happened if Sarah Friar hadn't made the call. Hold on a minute. So then we get to the pandemic, and the economy shuts down. Everything shuts down. And I'm a little distressed. And Sarah calls me. How you doing? Well, I'm doing fine. My middle name's Hope. We'll be okay. She said, well, Hope probably needs a little cash flow. Can I send you some money? Heck yeah. So Sarah and her husband, David Riley, I thought she was going to send me a couple grand, which I would have been appreciated. They wire us $100,000. Personal money. No company, no foundation, no press release, no drama. No one would know it unless I just told you. It wasn't about the money. She knew at that time that I needed some inspiration, I needed some encouragement. She knew the world was on my shoulders. I'm trying to help everybody else. Not many people calling to help me. She called me and said, we want to send you a little gift. Did it, bounced, went about her business. A couple years later, I'm launching a new initiative, the 1865 Project, that builds upon the Freedmen's Bank. And everybody in my team is wondering, well, has John lost it? I'm not sure if anybody wants a new membership program. And I needed to get this thing off to a right. I remember exactly where I was when I called you. I was in Cannes, People say Cannes, I call it Cannes. I was in Cannes, France, and you were in another part of Europe, and I called you, you answered. You didn't block my call. And I asked you about this initiative I wanted to launch, I had launched actually, and I wanted your opinion. And you gave me your assessment, how to make it better, and you said, once again, would you mind if we help to seed it, to support it? I'd be honored. Once again, they wire $100,000. I love calling Sarah. Again, no press release, no press conference, if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. And as a result of that, people hearing that Sarah Friar was in, we have subsequently raised $8 million.
That's amazing.
Just from that initiative. In 3 months' time.
Amazing.
You now run the largest network of largest network of neighborhoods and communities in the world.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't have enough to do. Then you've got a nonprofit that's helping women to come up. And your husband's working with me with this corporate inclusion initiative to get blacks and minorities on boards of directors, which we're going to launch during the forum and so on. Why do you care so much?
I care.
And are you black? Because you're really cool.
Well, first of all, Orlando, thank you for welcoming me with Irish weather. Well done. I appreciate you all. Number two, I do it because of people like everyone sitting in this room. Because you all care. You all make shit happen all the time.
That was fun.
But often, people don't show up for you. And you're right. I grew up in a tiny community in Northern Ireland, a farming community on the border. We had the troubles. Like, I saw bombs go off. I saw someone get shot. I lived that life for the first 25 years of my life, in fact. And it did change.
You saw somebody get shot?
My view.
You did grow up in a black neighborhood.
It changed my view of what it meant when you got to a point in your life where you could have impact to make sure that you show up, you step up every day. I love that saying about when you make it to the table, the first thing you do is you stand up, you turn around, you stick out your hand, and you pull someone up there with you. And it's because of people like John that I get the energy and the motivation to do that. So thank you.
I'm honored. And I'm honored to be on your board, by the way.
Yes.
And you're on our board.
And vice versa.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And she knew about this. She found out about we wanted to talk to her about 4 days ago and changed her schedule to fly in to be here. And she has to fly back out tonight.
I'm going the round trip to California, but it is completely worth it. And it's worth it because of communities like this. John said it. Nextdoor is the largest neighborhood network in the world. We're in 11 countries, 315,000 neighborhoods, 88 million neighbors on the platform. But we really want to keep showing up. So actually, one of the things I want to do tonight, which John doesn't know about, but we are launching a program in 2024. But this is the sneak peek, and people bring it in. Don't go tweeting it or anything, or Xing it, whatever you do today. You can put it on Nextdoor, though. We love that. But we are launching something called our AMP program. AMP is about amplifying communities that typically don't get their voices heard. So I'm going to post about it tonight on my social, on places like LinkedIn. But we would love you to come, find out more, but it's really about finding the influencers in local communities. Because what you realize, it's not the fancy pants people, right, that have the big titles. It's the local pastor. It's the local high school football coach. It's, in my case, my mom, the local district nurse who everyone came to. And so we're trying to lift those voices, which you can only do at a local level, and we're going to do it through a program called AMP. So I'm pretty excited to get that out there tonight, too.
Nice, very nice.
You're welcome.
And if you were trying to whisper that into the world, this was the wrong place to do it. We'll probably get 5 million views over a week. So sorry about that.
That's
tweet
not a
away.
bad thing.
And I say tweet. Y'all get that later. So I want to get underneath a little bit more. Why did you decide to come? You're a rock star. You could have gone and worked for any place else. I know personally that you're getting phone calls right now for you to do this and do that and the other thing, but you decided to commit to Nextdoor, which, by the way, everybody's found their lost dog on Nextdoor. soda shovel or something.
It's important.
But there's so many more uses for a network of neighborhoods and communities in the world, and my guess is there's a deeper meaning for why you did this. But another Sarah Friar unique moment, she called me during the pandemic, and I remember the exact moment. I was on a conference call, and she said, "Can I talk to you for a minute? Can you think about this? I'm taking over the CEO role, but it's too white."
Yeah, literally.
And would you mind coming on our board? And I'm looking for a couple other strong candidates. And she went and got Andrea.
Wisham.
Andrea.
Wisham.
Yeah, Wisham.
Amazing. Worked for Oprah for
worked for Oprah
30 years.
And she
Amazing.
runs a family office
Yeah.
for
Skywalker Properties for
Melody Hobson and
yeah.
her husband.
Exactly.
And did I pronounce her first name right?
Yes, Andrea.
And Andrea. And great person. And put us both on her board of your board of directors. Again, all these things that nobody sees, and you went out of your way to make sure that the company's ticker was con. Get us underneath a little bit more in the few minutes we've got.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you care so much? It would be so easy to just walk right past the poor, the underserved, the unseen, the unheard, go to your corporate office, go to your house, go to Silicon Valley, go to parties, and never, go to your, why?
Why? I went to Nextdoor, number one, for the purpose. And our purpose is to cultivate a kinder world where everyone has a neighborhood to rely on. And part of the why, you already talked a little bit about Northern Ireland. So I grew up in, our village was created by the Quakers, actually. And it was the only place in Northern Ireland where Catholics and Protestants lived side by side. That's our divide, Catholic religion. We all worship supposedly the same God, but somehow, something happens to cause us to divide. But we lived in this village where people lived side by side. And the first time, you kind of started this talk track, I didn't think I was going here tonight, but the first time a bomb went off in our little village at the local police barracks, our windows of our house got blown in. And the first people through the door were our next door neighbors, who were Catholic, we were Protestant, and they came through the door, it was a big family, and they helped us plywood up our windows. Marcella, the mom, brought us dinner that night. They made sure that we could go to bed in a house that wasn't freezing cold. This was in the winter. And that moment of neighbors, I was like, this is what neighboring is about. Like, you can say finding the lost dog feels, but if you lose your dog, it's like you're losing a child to most people, a member of the family. Like, these are the moments where only local matters. And it can go from a smallish emergency, like I lost my wallet, lost my pet, all the way up to like today, one of the most active neighborhoods or areas for Nextdoor is Houston. And why is it Houston? It's Houston because of Hurricane Harvey. Because when the hurricane blew in, 911 went down. Literally, the emergency services got so overloaded that the phone system went down. And the mayor got on TV and said, hey people of Houston, if you need to get saved, if you're stranded or you think someone could be stranded on a rooftop with the waters rising, you need to get on that Nextdoor app, and your neighbors are who come and save you. And when that happens, people come, but then they stick around. But just those moments when you really think about local is the way that we all connect. We build our social fabric. And it doesn't matter what our government says, and it doesn't matter in the moment when those waters are rising. You stick out your hand. You don't say, oh, excuse me, which way do you vote? How do you feel about gun control right now, right? You don't say that. You're like, I gotcha, right? And why can't we be like that all the time? So that's what drives me to that place. Because in the end, I think we all want to have some impact on this world, to be remembered for something. Could be a small thing. Like, even if one person remembers that good that you did, I think that's enough. But if you can force multiply that, you should do that all day, every day. Hell yeah to that. And so that's what drives me.
I adore you as a human being, as a spirit, We're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Energy matters. Shatra and I love your energy.
Yeah.
We think that you are a role model.
Thank you.
For humanity.
I appreciate it very much.
You have gotten, leadership is a lonely road, and eagles don't fly in packs. And you've never seen a flock of eagles, and eagles oftentimes get shot at. People are jealous, they're envious, they don't understand you, but they can't do better. But they'll complain, they'll criticize. I like what you're doing much better than what other people are not doing. I want you to keep doing it.
Thank you, John.
I wanted to bring you out here so that I could show you off for the world. You called me about Derek, the president of the NAACP, because you want to partner with the NAACP.
Yeah.
I think Derek will be here tomorrow.
Yeah, we just actually launched our latest foundation grants from Nextdoor in conjunction with the NAACP. They help us go find those amazing businesses and just the stories of those businesses. I'm now interrupting you, who normally has a lot to say.
All good.
So one example with this amazing business founded by, it's a heart-wrenching story, young man who's incarcerated as a teen, but into an adult prison. So they put him in solitary to keep him safe. How ridiculous is our system that happens? The way he stayed alive, his mom could see that he was fading. She made sure that every single day of his incarceration, he got a letter in the mail from her. Sometimes a photograph, sometimes a card, whatever it was. So when he got out, he created a business that is literally that. How do you show people who are in the system love every single day? And he employs people who are coming out. But that's the sort of business you want to go fund. Like, how do we get funding down at that level, grassroots level? So thank you, because your introduction to Derek got us to do this foundation with our Kind Foundation to get money in at that grassroots level. And there's more to come. We're actually about to launch next year something that's even more grassrootsy. So we want to get out to 1,000 community activists, get them small grants to get going at a hyper-local level.
One last question. Why Operation Hope?
Oh, I almost don't have an answer because it's so obvious. Like, why not? It's amazing. I love, first of all, I was just talking backstage, I like that you do it in real life. Like, I truly believe fundamentally, like, human-to-human connection is the most important. So I love things like your Hope Inside. I love that you care about things like financial literacy, but I love that you stretch and have this big aspiration. People, this week, the next couple of days, you're gonna see the who's who. Like, you just saw the head of the OCC, but you're gonna see Sam Altman, you're gonna see just these incredible individuals. And someone who can stretch from like human one-to-one touch at a local level to that sort of inspiration, that's how I wanna back. So I'm backing this man, but I'm backing this organization, because every single person I've met along the way in Operation Hope, they're the people you want to be with. So thank you.
Well, I've got much respect and love for you. I know you got to go and get a plane to catch, and I didn't see this at this moment. You are definitely an honorary sister. Girlfriend's got green.
Irish green.
Irish green.
Although my mayonnaise is not that good, so please don't point to that on stage.
Isn't it nice to meet a good human? And I am honored today to present to Sarah Friar, in recognition of your dedicated support for the work of Operation Hope and longtime advocacy for empowering women in their professional journey and underserved people everywhere as small business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives, the Chairman's Hope Award presented this day at the Hope Global Forum. Join me in saying thank you to Sarah Friar.
Thanks, Lo. You're amazing.
You're amazing.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.